All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to another episode of Inside with Outsiders. I'm Jeremy Asgari, and today's guest is a really good friend of mine, Cedric Hernandez, co-founder of the Bridge the Gap running movement, captain at Bridge Runners, and co-founder of Essex Squeeze. You could explain what it is. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
We've been trying to get you here for like a year and a half now. This is season 3. I've been trying to get you here since season 1.
Well, I wanted this dope collaboration you had. I was waiting for this. I knew it was going to happen.
What collaboration are you talking about?
This North Face collaboration.
North Face? Yeah, you were coming to Jersey for an interview?
No, I'm kidding. It was just that so busy. And I always feel that in life, you always want to do something amazing. And then just like, that's what you want to promote. And like, just if something's going to come up, and I was having something new coming up. And then it's just like, forget it. Like life is always going to have new things happening. So I'll just
But it's also good timing because you still have new stuff happening you can talk about, right?
Exactly.
But we're going to get into that. First, we want to hear about you. The point of this podcast is to hear the stories of the people in our community. You've been a huge help for Outsiders as far as helping us launch initially. And I spoke to Mike, your partner in Bridge Runners, about how when we first launched before Outsiders was actually, a movement. You guys shared it on Bridge Runners and got us like some key members like Brian O'Connor, who helped us tremendously as well. But the point of this, like I was saying, is to hear about all the events that took place in your life that kind of landed you where you are now. And when I say all events, I mean like the events that stand out, like pivotal moments in your life. And also where you're from. So where are you from? I know you always rep this hard. Where are you from?
Come on, man. LES, born and raised, super hard, Stanton Street. Like, I really have a lot of pride for that. So Lower East Side is everything.
All right. So, I mean, you grew up in LES in 80s and 90s, right?
Yeah. I mean, early 80s, was born early 80s. And, growing up through the tough times.
I mean, it was different back then, right? So, I mean, now how we know it is like a place where all these bars are at and everyone goes out. It's like almost like an extension of what meatpacking was in a way, a little more edgy, a little cooler. But how would you describe it growing up?
It's crazy because there's a lot of bad in it for me, a lot of bad. But
when you say bad, in what regard?
That's what I'm going to explain it, because I dealt with a lot. I dealt with a lot of stuff, seeing a lot of things that I shouldn't have seen as a kid. I remember that when I was 6 years old. This is a very, my mom said, "Oh my God, you remember this?" And it was because my grandfather had passed that day. And I didn't, you know how I remember? Because what happened was we were coming back from New Jersey from my uncle's house. And back then nobody had cell phones. About like 86 or 87. I don't remember, like, don't quote me on the exact year, but it's around that year. And, I remember that we're walking by, like on Stanton, 2 blocks from my house. Actually, a block and a half. No, a block from the house. Sorry, a block. And we turn to our right, and it's super late, maybe like midnight or something like that. And we look to the right, and there's like 6 Asian people shot dead.
What?
Shot, like the whole car was shot up. Like, it was crazy. And we were the first ones to see it because it was fresh. Like, there was no cops, no anything. Oh. So we would, like, my mom was like, grabs us and like, let's go. We run, and she gets us to the apartment. And like 10 seconds later, like, no joke, I guess they were calling my mom. She drops to the floor and crying. I thought it was something on that because as a kid, I'm like, what's that? And then she just got the news that her dad passed away. Oh, so it was like, just like seeing all this in one shot, like such a young age. That's not, it's just traumatizing. And then a few years later, I lose my father in the LES to murder. So,
really? Your father was murdered?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I mean, I don't talk about it, but I think that it's important to talk about it because I've spoke about it like lately to people. I used to always keep that to myself, but I think that it just really shows. And as much as I rep the LES, it just really made me as a man. It's not, obviously there's bad apples in the Lower East Side like everywhere else, but it also defines who I am as a person, and also just the people I know here, the friends, and just to see it develop the way it has, I'm really proud of what it's become.
One, thank you for sharing that. I've known you for a long time. Never really went to ask you about that, but I didn't know that about you. I mean, those are scary moments. It's a scary place back then, but there's also a lot of beauty from then till now. What are your favorite parts about LES back when you were younger and about it now?
You know, I love the childhood part of it, like my friends and my family. My family all grew up in the Lower East Side. I'm so happy that my grandfather decided
Don't
to
you live in the same building with a lot of, like, the building you live in has a lot of your family members in the same building?
No. Not, my brother lives there now, but it was just because we both got apartments there. My mom used to live there. That's where I grew up.
Where's your mom? She's not there anymore?
No, she moved to Dominican Republic. She finally retired.
Yeah.
She wanted, that was like her goal.
And that's your background, right? You're from Dominican Republic?
Dominican Republic, mom and dad, yes. So, but yeah, I love the friends that I made. I mean, we have so many, you know, so diverse.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful to like see the diversity. Like I know a lot of Dominicans that live uptown in the Bronx. They were so like closed to just the Dominican population that was there that you wind up just seeing that. And it was great to see everything because I saw the gays. I saw the blacks, the whites, the Asians, different religions, you know, different foods at a young age. So when people would like come from other places, I remember these people coming like, oh my God, these guys are kissing. I was like, oh, it's normal, you know, because it was like, to me, it's normal and it should be normal to everybody to see these kind of things. And I feel like that's the great thing.
Delivery for you.
Oh, thank you.
That's amazing. That's a good point because you're right. I mean, uptown, that wasn't necessarily the norm, whereas downtown is where that culture is thriving, where cultures are born. So they're very open to different people.
Yeah, and the thing is that the coolest thing it was that made me like that. You know, I love sports. You know, I play sports. We watch sports together and all that. And it was the Boys Club. The Boys Club was literally on my block, and it's sad that all the Boys Clubs are all gone now in my neighborhood. Oh, I think there's one more left.
So I know for my neighborhood, it was the YMCA. That was the equivalent. So,
yeah.
I mean.
But it was everything. I learned how to play every sport possible there, from like playing the foosball to ping pong to and which, you know, we played ping pong before, like to the playing pool, obviously basketball, baseball, like
basketball?
Football. Yeah,
really?
you know, I'm not as good as him. I'm being honest. I'm not as good as him, but I'm pretty good.
We got funny stories about basketball. We'll get into later. But okay, so you grew up. You went to school. What school did you go to down here?
PS20. It's on Essex Street, and PS20, and then across the street went to Martha Valley Model High School, which was a junior high school and high school. Then I left there, and then I went to Seward Park, which is all like in a 5-block radius. You know, so it's crazy.
That was
like
your world. The LES was your world, right?
It is my world. Still is.
I mean, really. I mean, your business is Essex Squeeze, right? And I mean, although the business started in Essex Market, you've kept the name in all the locations you've gone to.
Yeah, it was important to us. So I told my partner, because when we shout out to my partner Charlie, when we were opening it, like I remember I had this idea for years of opening a juice shop, and I could get into that later if you want. But like I had an idea through our bridge runners to like open something, like to give people like nutrition, like something in the nutritional side to find their balance through there, because really finding it through running and working out that way, I wanted like now the nutritional part. And for years I wanted to do it, and the pandemic really like pushed us to do it harder because, you know, we weren't traveling anymore. You know, I traveled a lot for running, and I was able to make that stop and really focus on it. So, but we were looking for a name for a while. I remember we were looking at Squeeze, we were looking at all these different things that basically kind of could go with you know, juices and pressing and all these things, but a lot of them were taken. Squeeze was taken. So then Essex Squeeze, I don't know if he said it or I said it, and I was like, but then we're going to change it. Let's do we do Chelsea, we'll do Chelsea Squeeze, we'll do this. But then it'll be a mess having all these different names. Yeah. And then I was like, you know what? Perfect name. We went to school. We met in the first grade.
You've known him that long?
Yes, we met in the first grade, like 6 years old. He was 6, I was 7. Yeah. And I remember, and then 30-something years later, we opened our first juice shop on Essex Street. Yeah. So Essex means a lot to us, and it's in the Lower East Side. So I was just like, man, like Essex Squeeze is the perfect name.
Plus, keeping brand identity. Like I know you considered doing Chelsea Squeeze when you had it in Chelsea, but I like the idea of Essex Squeeze. I mean, the story's there, right?
Exactly.
So you went to high school down there. What'd you do after high school? Did you go to college?
I didn't go to college. I always knew I didn't want.
Really?
I didn't want to become a teacher. I didn't want to become anything. I said I would take a class of something, of business. I always wanted to be a business guy.
Did you have any idea?
Nothing. I didn't know, and I
I know a funny fact about you. Not a lot of people know, but you were a singer too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
no, I'm really proud of that. I had a great time too.
But when did you start singing? And that was through high school, wasn't it?
Yeah, we started at like when I was 17 years old, around the 16, 17.
What kind of music were you singing?
Bachata.
So that's
Dominican.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's Dominican music. It's like straight from DR, and love it. We love the music, and we were just like doing something for fun. It was like crazy. It was just a bunch of like friends from high school and no, from elementary school that we just became friends. And then they said we went to a house party. I remember this. We were in a house party in the Lower East Side. We used to always go to house parties, and they were like, "Yo, we're starting a band." And I was like, "I want to be part of it." And they were like, "What do you know how to do?" I was like, "No, I don't know." And I really didn't know how to do anything. They were like, "Oh, you could play the drum machine," and that was like the easiest thing. And I started.
But how did you start singing?
And then with time, they were just like, "Oh, we need a chorus," and I was like, "I'll try." And then I did it, and they're like, "Oh, you have a decent voice."
Really?
Decent enough. I don't want people to think I'm a singer, but it was decent enough to like do backup vocals,
right.
Like that kind of stuff.
Sing us a tune.
No, I'm not doing it.
Come on.
No.
All right. What's interesting, you have a bit of a raspy voice. So do I. I have a raspy voice, and we know a couple singer friends of yours as well who have raspy voices. But it's funny how it doesn't translate raspy when you're singing, I guess.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Where can somebody find that band? What was the name of the band?
Which band?
That you were in?
Oh, El Grupo Envy. You could find stuff on if you go on, whatever, all those.
Is there like YouTube videos of it?
I mean, that was before YouTube. So we did a 7-year span. They did it a little longer. I left around 7 years. I went to like about the age of 24. And we had people that used to record every performance and pictures, and now they're just like, oh, we can't find it, whatever. But we performed everywhere, like all over the U.S. We went to even DR. We had a little tour in DR, but we had a great time, and it was just fun at the time.
Was that one of the reasons why you didn't go to college? Did you want to pursue music?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. It was really just a joke. I thought we were going to have a fun time. I was like, ooh, girls. Ooh, like, we're going to be able to travel. And we didn't even think it was going to go that far. And then we just started becoming better and cooler. Yeah. But you could find us. The Grupo Envy, you could find it on all those, like, whatever, like Apple.
I gotta find a video of this guy singing.
Yeah, I mean, you'll find some stuff if you really look for it. But
if I find clips, we're gonna put it right here.
God,
right, this moment right here, clip of you singing. God. I hope we do. I know. Well, you have to remind me. I'll get the clips. How we doing with the cameras? We got a new setup just for you. We got 3 cameras set up. We got new gadgets. Everything is. It looks good. All right. You sound a little nervous, making me nervous. Okay. So what did you have in mind to do with your life when you were younger?
Man, I was lost in that. I really was. I didn't know what to do because all my family, they were like, why are you not going to college? And I was like, I don't know what to do in college. All my cousins were like, oh, I want to be a teacher. Others was going to say they wanted to do this. They want to be the cops. And I didn't want to do any of that stuff. And I always wanted to do like something entrepreneurial. It was always that. And I remember I got into houses in Kansas City, out of all places. Like I knew somebody that was involved in that. And it didn't go well. I mean, I just didn't know the world. And I would like to do it again because, if you do the right real estate, you can make a lot of money. But I was super young at the time, but I invested all my money that I saved, my little job or whatever, and I used my credit and all that stuff. But again, like I just put it in the wrong areas of Kansas City, and it just, it was far. I just didn't have, when something went wrong, I couldn't just fly out there. Yeah. It was too much, but it was a learning experience. And I would like to get into that in the future.
And, so you did all kinds of not odd jobs, but like I know you worked at Cat's Deli, you worked at different places. Where have you worked?
Man, I'm tell you all my jobs. I have all my jobs here. I started at Transit, like very close to here actually in NoHo.
The store, yeah.
Transit, the store.
Didn't specify because this man right here, Chris, worked at for a company called Transcom. So
okay, Transit.
It has to do with transit industry, like transportation industry.
Oh yeah, no, nothing about transit.
But transit, if you're an old school New York head, that was a legendary space for skateboarding, sneakers, any sort of
North
streetwear.
Face. They had a North Face store downstairs.
I remember that they had the old train in the back too.
Yeah, the train in the back. And you went up in the back.
It was Transit, cool Blades, and then around the corner was Supreme. That's where everybody went in the freaking 90s.
Exactly.
And it was a cool store. They a really cool store. First job, actually my first job was giving like flyers and working coat check for my boy Ryan. Shout out to Ryan.
He's a friend of mine. We worked together when I first started in nightlife. Probably the first weekly party I ever did in my life was with Ryan. Shout out to Ryan and Leon. Events RL, Ryan Rodriguez, who's also a local not LES, but downtown had, I think.
Yeah, he's on
Village.
Spring Street, like, you know, in that area. I mean, that's a good friend of mine.
Thompson,
Still
yeah.
speak to him. First job, you know, he was best friends with my cousin. So that's how I got that job. And then it just, I was in that nightlife. And then I did the first job was with
Transit.
With Transit.
Yeah.
Then I went
What did you do at Transit?
just sales,
Sales,
and then I
sold
did,
shoes?
and then I did, yeah, and then I did Bang Bang. I don't know, remember Bang Bang?
Bang Bang. Oh,
on
like
H
the
Street?
clothing store?
Yeah,
Like it was like some sort of like Forever 21 style spot or something like that?
it was more like dressy, like party spot. It
Yeah.
was like very party, like, you know, like if you were into
Like 90s club, like
yeah, 90s club party,
Yeah,
like very
exactly.
like if you wear what's it called, like the Durango boots, like with those kind of like slacks. It was crazy. Oh man, I remember like if you were in that style, that's what you wore. Like all the bachateros
Yes.
back in the days used to go
they
there.
had platform heels on them. I remember that. And
Yeah.
it was a man's boot, but it was weird because it had like a heel.
Yeah, Bang Bang, and then after that, I mean, did the clubs. I mean, performing for years, but also I was working with my stepdad as a plumber. So I was
Really?
yeah,
That's
I was,
tough work.
Oh yeah, it was tough. It was tough, and we used to wake up at 6 in the morning. I used to perform sometimes till 5 a.m. and go straight to
Unclogging a toilet.
yeah.
Fixing
Nah, well,
pipes.
we used to push everything together. We used to build it out like
Yeah.
in the projects, and then after that, I went and worked as a doorman for many buildings and like helped manage buildings. And
Really?
then- yeah.
Isn't that Union?
No. It was not the buildings I was in.
Okay.
But 2 different buildings in Soho. And then after that, I didn't like this job. I worked at a bank at Chase, and I just didn't like. I don't like that lifestyle.
You're not made for office work, right?
Yeah, I remember I was like doing the training first day, and I was like, oh my God, I hate this job.
Yeah.
First day, I was like, I hate it. And I wound up staying there for 2 years. I was doing really
years,
well.
wow.
I was
Okay.
doing really well, like financially. I was like, nah, it's
Yeah.
2-year anniversary. I was like, I'm out of here. Like, I just needed to leave. And that was it. That's all my jobs. And
That's
then-
a
and then obviously Bridge Runners, but Bridge Runners has been like forever.
Well, I want to see how that came. So I understand how those other jobs came about. Those are like jobs you go, typical jobs. You get a job, you need money, and you do the job. Like you said, 2 years over there, and you're like, I got to get out of here. How did you come up? How did you meet Mike? How did you? Because he's a founder of Bridge Runners, but you guys connected not too long after it was founded, right?
Yeah. So basically, my boy Power.
Well, why
big
don't
shout
we
out
talk about what Bridge Runners is? Because I'm assuming everyone knows, but the fact of the matter is, it's a unique concept because you're one of the first running crews.
We are the first. We're the first. So there's running clubs.
Right.
And then running clubs was just basically people getting together. It's all about time. It's about getting people to like just maybe find their goal of like running a marathon or a 5K. We were just trying to get, I mean, like when I came in, I don't know what SACE is. I never even asked him that. I just know that he was just trying to get people together to run or whatever. But I really, when I saw the idea of it, it was for me to like help people find balance because I always had balance. And I still find balance to this day, different kinds of balances, but I always found balance when it came to like working out and eating and doing these kind of things and drinking. Because, you know, I party, and I partied my whole life, so. Oh.
Is it focusing on that?
No, it's not. It's in the.
I gotcha.
Got it. Sorry.
We got to educate this man on TV over here. Not you, him. Yeah, I'm just messing with you. I like picking on Cedric. I don't know why.
Wait, so do I start that all over?
No. You're good to go.
All right.
Everything.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. All right, cool.
So we're talking about Bridge Runners and how did you guys start with
So
that?
yeah, so basically for me it was just like I really wanted to help people find balance because I already felt that I liked working out. Like I didn't like the part of working out, but I loved the feeling that it was like a high for me.
We met at Chelsea Piers.
Exactly. No, I actually met you. I used to do the doors at clubs in like for my boy, like in all these clubs, like in at the Dream Hotel and all these different places. And I used to see you, but you didn't know me. I was like, oh, that guy goes to the gym because I've been going to the gym for over. We were in the gym since like when I was 22 years old, and I'm 42, so like 20 years ago. So I saw you, and I was like, oh, that guy goes to the gym. And then one day we spoke at the gym.
Yeah.
I was like, I know you.
I
and
ran
then
into you at this place at LES, and I was like, oh, you're from the gym, yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea you were from around there. I didn't know you, but yeah. And then it's funny that you end up being. I know Mike Sace since 2003, 2004. And I had no idea you guys were involved together in the Bridge Runners. Matter of fact, I didn't even know Sace was part of the thing called Bridge Runners. When I saw Sace, I would never imagine someone who runs.
Well, he only runs like once a week. It's different. Like,
true, but his story was really interesting. We had him here last week, and it will probably be the interview, the episode we show 2 weeks before this comes out. And it was really interesting how he started, and it made perfect sense. And that's why I was really curious to see how you got connected with Bridge Runners. So it's a running crew. It's about balance. It's about a social aspect.
Yeah.
Right?
So the thing was that it was like I didn't like running. I used to run in the gym because my workouts were like playing ball and stuff like that. That was my cardio. But I noticed that when you get older, people have their girlfriends, they have a job. When you're young, you like could play till like 10 p.m. every night because you don't have when you don't have a job, you just have school, and then you have like summers off and you play all year round. Like that's how it is. But when you get older, people are like, in relationships, or some people got pregnant, like my boys got their girls pregnant, or like I said, just life happens. And then you don't, like, who are you going to play with? I mean, you could go to the streets and play with the people, but you can never find that. Yeah. So it's just like, where's the cardio coming from? So I would go to the gym and then just do the treadmill. And I really hated the treadmill. It was just boring to me. But when my boy Power and I, we were doing these, like, we were getting together in the East River and doing like calisthenics, like for calisthenics and sprints.
So this is prior to Bridge.
Yeah, prior to Bridge. Yeah. And then we were just doing this and like this whole thing of trying to like do that for the community, bringing our friends or whatever. And Sace came by. And I didn't know Sace at the time, but Power knew him, I think. A few people knew him there. And he would just come by and he's like, yo, man, I love your energy, whatever. You got to come to this thing I just started called Bridge Runners. And I was like, I don't like to run, bro. Like, I don't like it. He's like, yeah, but just he's different. And he would just say he's different. Like, people are different. Like, it's like people like us. And I was like, I didn't think it was going to be fun. So I kept on like brushing it off. Yeah. And then
like you did with this podcast.
Exactly. No, but it was just like more, maybe one day. And then I just kind of saw that everybody that was coming out to the things on what Power and I did, they were people already fit. And it was because when some people weren't fit, but like they would come and I feel like they would be embarrassed and they would never come back. Because if you can't do, calisthenics is tough because if you can't do a push-up, you feel like, oh man, like,
right.
And you can't do sit-ups, then you can't do a pull-up. It's all like body weight. So a person that's heavy basically gets, they feel uncomfortable. And then sprinting, then you're the last one. So I just felt like these people are shape. I'm not really helping anybody. These people are going to work out by themselves, with or without me. Then I finally went to Bridge Runners one day, and then I just felt this cool like environment of people that I would want to be around. It was just people like you that I would want to chill with. It was people like, people with tats. I don't even have a tattoo, but I just felt like, damn, I feel like comfortable. Mm-hmm. It's like East Village, like looking style.
Felt like home,
people.
Right? Yeah. So it had that diversity, but still that cool edge.
Yeah, and then we would finish and we would just have a drink or a beer or whatever and have some food, have margaritas and different things. And it was just like, there was no like, how fast are you? How many marathons? And I've never been to a club, but I always felt that there was no like pink high socks and neon pants. No, it was very dark. It was people in Air Maxes and Air Force Ones. And I'm not telling people to run in that because it's not what you should run in that. But it just felt like these people were just trying to get in a workout. Right. It was not like forced upon them. And then I was like, it clicked. I was like, this is what people need. Because what it was that when I ran, I was like in the middle. Because I was always a little in shape. So I was not right in the back, but I saw those people in the back and we waited for each other. And I was like, man, this would be great because when the last person comes in, they get all the energy. If you're the first one, you finish and you're on the bridge, whatever, you finish and you're like the first. But when you get in the back, you get this energy and it makes you feel proud and all that stuff. Like, I just finished. So I was like, man, I think I could really get a lot of people to do this. And it was important because I really wanted them to come and to not experience only the run, but experience the balance side of it. The just after we're gonna have a drink,
Yeah.
we're gonna go see some nice murals that's gonna represent New York. We're gonna go like into these exclusive like art galleries that hard to get in, but Mike knows the artist or whatever.
Right,
We're gonna
right.
walk right in, and then we're all sweating. People are like, who the fuck are these?
Yeah.
Who the fuck are these people coming in sweaty? But it's the connections we've made throughout the
It's
throughout the
funny
years.
because I remember seeing you guys like on marathon weekends, right? After a lot of your people in your crew might run the marathon.
Yeah.
And I would see you. You don't typically see a marathon running crew going to a club afterwards, but I see you guys at Gold Bar after with the medals and like all hanging out, having a drink, and I like that balance. It's not, I talk about this all the time when it comes to outsiders. We're not the avid outdoors folks who wake up at 5 a.m. to go out there and do something super intense. No, we're doing something fun. We want you to show up at 10:30 because we want you to have been able to go out the night before. Like, it's about that balance. But what I want to ask you is, I want you to look into the camera and tell people your pitch. Like, what's so special? I know there's lots of special because I ran with you guys, but how would you convince someone when you just meet them to come run with you? What would you say?
Well, I mean, I would literally just.
You can look at me if you want to.
Okay, yeah, I was like, I would just literally.
I just would love to hear like.
I mean, the thing is it's what you're looking for, because if you're a person that's like already like going for marathons, like, yeah, you come through. We have people that ran 2:30 marathons,
Yeah.
but then we'll have somebody, if you're a person like, oh, I've never ran, I'm like, we got space for you. We got people that do a 6:30 marathon.
Right.
So it's like almost walking. Basically, we want people just to find themselves in our run crew. There's a place for everybody in our run crew, in our run community. That's why Bridge the Gap is massive. This is around the whole world. You'll find people all the way from in Asia, and Australia, South America, Africa, obviously North America. Am I missing another continent? What continent am I missing?
I lost track of what you're saying.
I know the only one that we don't have people is in Antarctica, and we don't have no
Right.
run crews there. But we have them all over, and I'm really proud to say I'm co-founder of that, because it started with just us in New York City, like very small, and just me putting in my little 2 cents and being very creative, and we just started building it, and then we got contracts from big brands, and people were like, how do you do that? Oh my God, that's just so cool that people even, why they sponsor you? Why not other run clubs? And it's
Right.
like, because we have an identity,
Yeah.
and people, we have the DJs, we have the producers, we have the directors, we have all the artists that people want to be down with, but we don't give a fuck like who you are.
That's funny that you say that, because when we first launched, we launched with a snack brand. You remember who we launched with?
Yes.
And I asked years later, I wasn't going to ask him when we first agreed, but years later, I was like, hey, out of curiosity, why did you decide to sponsor us? We'd never worked together before. It was a relationship that I facilitated, I grew for years. And he said it was because they were trying to target the nightlife demographic, but it doesn't make sense. But I had the nightlife, that lifestyle, those kind of people in that lifestyle doing outdoor things. And now they're in. I was like, oh, that makes sense with you guys. It's the downtown lifestyle creatives, right? It's mostly artists or unconventional lifestyle, people who live unconventional lifestyles partaking in a run club. Normally, you wouldn't necessarily think that. You'd think people that do run clubs are type A, but you're a run crew, and it's not necessarily type A folks, it's just everybody. And so if I had to describe Bridge Runners, I'd say it'd be like a moving, running, social gathering or party. And I did it once. And I told my story with Mike, but you told me come through, and I had been like 2 years out from a back surgery, and I was like, I can only run up to 6 miles max, but I want to keep it like 3 or 4. Come through. We don't necessarily give away how many miles, but you should be fine.
Yeah, we don't tell anybody the miles. That's something we don't do. We don't tell you your miles. We don't tell you your route. And and this mofo right here went out there and just started like running as fucking fast. He's so competitive. That's a competitive side of us. Like, we're just competitive people. Like, and these guys in the front, and I'm like, dude, just chill. But he's enjoying it. And then you could just tell him what happened.
Oh, it was great. So we ended up we're supposed to get off at Williamsburg Pier. It was closed. Ended up having to run from Long Island City, which extends it by 3 or 4 miles. And I'm running with a friend of mine who's also a great shape, former Golden Glove boxer, and I play ball with him, my friend Lenny. And we're like, oh man, we didn't sign up for this. We start running, and it's a hot summer day, and we're running from Queens into Brooklyn, and and it's hot, and we finally get to Brooklyn, and all of a sudden it just starts downpouring, and it's pouring.
But
and
it felt
the
good
funny
though.
thing, it felt great. We needed it, and we stopped at an ice cream shop. And we finished running, and like we run over. The last part of the run was running over Williamsburg Bridge, which, if you know Williamsburg Bridge, it'll fool you, right? You run up, you get to like a flat level, you're like, okay, I'm good. Then it goes up again, so it's a pain in the ass whether you're running or on a bike. So we did that, and we finished off, and my body was pretty beat up for a couple of weeks because I hadn't trained. I probably shouldn't have run that far because I hadn't run at all. But that being said, it was the best day I had all summer.
Oh, thanks. See, you never told me that. I'm happy.
I never told you that. Yeah,
Nah.
we talked about it. We still talk about how amazing that was, and because I'm competitive, I try to stay towards the front, which probably was a mistake, which is why I felt beat up.
Yeah, because if you would have taken it slower, your body wouldn't. Because the harder you push, it's going to put more strain on the body.
I know. I've been told. Like, shout out to Darshan. Darshan's the director of our partnerships for Outsiders. He started a run club in Jersey City for his own for social purposes. For the reason why he moved there, he had no network. He couldn't meet people in a bar the way he met people in a bar in Brooklyn. So he started a run club and created this whole community for himself. And it's been about a year and change. But when I run with him, he's like, he paces me. He's like, slow down, slow down, slow down. We ran in Puerto Rico and he really paced me. It was like 95-degree day, but he made sure I slowed down and I built up towards the right momentum. Because otherwise, I'm super competitive. I'm going to run. And what's funny, the one thing me and Lenny talk about from that run was there were people running right past us, and by looking at them, by their build, I guess, and it's going to sound mean, but maybe some people smaller or heavy set, and they could just run for days and run fast. And I was just like, how? This is amazing. Like, these people are they're doing it for lifestyle. They're obviously in great shape, and I just thought it was just a great offering. And for me, it made me want to run more until the next day when I couldn't move.
It's funny, like you say that, like, but it's just that there's people there. Some people not even in so great shape. They just want to find that like good balance. I'm serious. I know, for example, my boy's a heavy set dude. Shout out to him. Adrian, like we started this 365 running every day for a year.
I was not part of it, but I was with you when you had to run a couple of times. We went to hang out with some friends in the Hamptons one weekend, and we meet up with them, and you're like, I'll be right back, in jeans or whatever, and you had to go run 3K?
Oh my God, thanks. No, 5K a day. At least 5K a day. Thank you for saying that, because people don't get it. Like, I remember that I was in my boy.
No, it was annoying. It was annoying if you're hanging out with
I had to literally, before midnight, I had to finish 5K. And it was a promise I made because I really want to inspire others to start a streak. I said it from the beginning. I posted every run on Twitter, the map, and I said something, a little quote, and that's the only time I ever used Twitter. I had 365 days of just posting it. It's still there because I never took it down. And basically, it was just something to get somebody to maybe start running for a week straight or a month. And it started streaks all over. Even people in Africa hit me up like, I'm doing a whole month. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And that made me, in between that whole 365, I said, let me do a long run. I'm inspired to do something bigger, to maybe get somebody to run and say, like, what do you want to do? I was like, let's run 100 miles. He's like, dude, we never even ran 50 miles. I was like, I don't know. He's like, what we have to do, it's going to get too cold. I was like, well, let's do it like in a month and a half. And they're like, we got to train. People, like, everybody said, you're not going to make it. And we did it.
Where did you run 100? To the city?
To the city. And people just joined us. We had a tracking device, Runner's World. The magazine followed us. It was just like this cool thing, ran for 24 hours. But it was just, and then the next day I had to go back and run 5K for another 2 months before my year ended. And I was like, why did I do this? Like, imagine.
And you even had to do it when you were like, if you had this flu or if you felt sick, you had to run.
Yeah, and I remember I was in Argentina shooting a video for my best friend, my boy Ant, and we were shooting a video. I remember that he stopped production for me. He looked out, I was like, yo, dude, I gotta shoot these. He's like, yo, we'll take the lunch now. And I was like, you sure? And I was like, because I was in the scene. He was like, no, we'll just take a lunch. And I remember he was like, don't worry about it, just go for your run, because he knew how important it was. And I literally landed in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, and I went in jeans too. And because I didn't have no running stuff, and I just went, and my bags, I lost my bags, so I didn't have anything for the whole trip. So I went and had to run every single day in jeans, every single day, like while I was in Argentina.
So man, that's crazy, but that's inspiring. And I remember the last run, because we all met you in Williamsburg for that last run you did to celebrate a full year. And I didn't realize the magnitude of that, your everyday run until the end. And I was like, wow, he just actually ran 5K every day for a full year. That's why he was running in jeans on the beach in the Hamptons. That's why he had to, go run before he met me out. People don't realize that's a commitment.
Yeah, and it's and back to the story. It was just like the 100 miles was like, if I could do 100, you could do 1 mile.
Yeah.
I just want people to get out there. I really feel that I was put on this earth to like help people. Like, I mean, maybe, people have their callings, but I really want that responsibility to like be able to be like, I got you. Like, if you need me, I got you.
Yeah.
When it comes to running, I can, maybe even juicing, I could tell you a lot about those things and smoothies and whatever, but other things I might not be able to help you, but I really think that that's something that I feel I enjoy. And if something that you want to come out and run, we have the crew for you. We have the community for you. But back to that story, my boy Adrian started with me that year, and he's a heavy set guy. He hasn't stopped since.
Really?
Yeah, but he does at least 1 mile a day, but he's done marathons and everything. So he's ran for over 10 years straight.
Wow.
10 years straight, nonstop, and that's a commitment.
Speaking of which, how long have you been part of Bridge Runners?
Started in 2005.
Okay.
2004, sorry. End of 2004, going into 2005.
And it's a true, Bridge the Gap is a true global movement because I was in Paris and I was at this gym and I ran into, somebody commented on my Air Max. I had a pair of Pata Air Max and he goes, you part of Pata? I was like, no. I was like, oh, I am. How do you know about them? And I was like, well, actually, I know them because my boys are Bridge Runners. Well, I know the Bridge Runners. I ran with them. I'm in Paris talking to some dude who lives in the Netherlands, and global. Obviously, they know. I know you got connections all over, but I've met people that know you in Stockholm, Netherlands. I think maybe someone from Japan came, but yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, everywhere, man. I love this. Without this community, I would be a different person, like completely, because I've met so many amazing people. I used to travel 15, 20 countries a year when it was at its, in those years before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I was really just going to go visit friends that started their run crews in different cities, and even visiting new crews that were just really inspired by us and wanted to show off their crews and wanted to show off their city and wanted to do a Bridge the Gap event. So I would go to check it out and see what they had to offer. So I met people and I've learned so much about culture. Eating crazy things, met the wildest people, learned about politics.
We gotta get some examples. What's the craziest thing you've eaten on one of these trips?
I don't want to say it.
What?
I ate like a fried roach or whatever, in Thailand or something.
Was it a roach?
Yeah, Nike. I was with Nike. I remember at the time I was with them out there. We went to shoot out there, and they were like, oh, you want one? And I was like, oh, I'll try it, whatever. I was like, this is the worst thing I ever tasted. It was there was roaches, there was scorpions, and
I eat a scorpion. I don't want to eat a roach, but I eat a scorpion.
I don't know what it was.
It was cricket scrubs. I've eaten that stuff.
It really doesn't.
No, it tastes like whatever it's seasoned with.
Yeah, it was gross. I don't like stuff like that. I've eaten a lot. And when I was in Madrid, I remember I was hanging out with some dudes out there, and they were like, we eat everything of the cow. We eat everything. So I was like, listen, don't tell me I won't eat it. Just if it's good, just give it to me and I'll eat it and I'll tell you if I don't like it. And then you could tell me after. And they were telling me some shit, shit that I was like, oh man, I was eating the worst, the crazy parts, brains and weird stuff. It was wild.
It's edible, right? And some people have no choice.
Yeah.
So why not?
But
okay, so Bridge Runners, anything in between Bridge Runners and now you have another business, which is called Essex Squeeze, we mentioned. Well, how did that start?
Like I said, I really wanted to just this is 12 years ago. I actually wanted to do a collaboration store. I wanted to do a running store that had a juice shop in it and and we could run out of. So we already did that. We already had the community, and then we could do a juice shop in there that also sells juices.
Delivery.
That sells juices. But then they had lockers there so they could put their clothes away, and then you could buy exclusive running clothes. That was my thing. I wanted it to be like a cool shop of running. And it just didn't pan out, all these things, it didn't pan out. And then in the pandemic, right before the pandemic, I was already looking for stores before it. And I remember I told my partner now, Charles, not Sace, I was just like, yo, I want to get in a juice shop. His family does produce at the old Essex Market. For over 20 years, they sell produce. They were like one of those supermarkets, and I was like, I want to get into juice shops, and like you have the fruits and vegetables already. Like you're down. He was like, man, I've thought about that in the past. And I was like, I really want to do this. He was like, I think that we could probably get a spot in Essex, the new Essex Market. And I was like, yes, like let's do it. I'm down. I have ideas for days, and I was really into this. I lived this. I lived the juices and the smoothies, the bowls. I used to eat it in San Diego all the time. When I went to Brazil, I ate it out there back in the days, and I was like, I know about this, and I know about these powders and stuff that people don't know about. Like, I mean, people know about sea moss and all that stuff. Yeah. These are things that I was incorporating into my smoothies and juices, and I was like, I want people to really know the benefits of this.
So you started Essex Squeeze in Essex Market. How many locations do you have
now? We got 6 now. So yeah, it started.
Where are you located?
We have the one in the original Essex Market. We have one at the Public Hotel in the Lower East Side. We have one at the Highline, but that's only open from May to October because outdoors. Highline Park upstairs between 15th and 16th. We have one in Brooklyn at the DeKalb Market on Flatbush. And then we have one in Long Island City at Jackson Co. And we just opened in Philadelphia in Northern Liberty. So finally, branching out to another state, which I'm really happy about.
Yeah, I might be able to help you out in every location we have in Outsiders.
Yeah.
Chicago, LA, London, Stockholm.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
Let's talk.
Let's talk.
All right, I'm going to ask you a few other questions real quick. What is it you do for fun?
Excuse me. What I do for fun? Love sports. I'm a sports fanatic, so I watch sports, I play sports. I like to be with family. I enjoy family. Family is like my number one. And family, I mean family and friends. So my friends are my family. So I like to just hang out with them, smoke a cigar. I enjoy a nice cigar. Don't do it as much as others, but I enjoy like once or twice a week. I'll smoke a cigar.
Yeah, Chris is a big cigar smoker.
Oh, nice. We gotta smoke one. I have a membership at a lounge on Midtown. You gotta come out. Yeah, so love to smoke a cigar because it's like, that's a social thing too. I speak to all the guys. I know everybody there. We just talk and, talk about sports, talk about anything. OGs, like a lot of old people, so also a lot of knowledge. I love to vacation, but like with my boys. Yeah. Like when I'm going for running, it's great. I'm learning about culture, so I enjoy that. But I really love to be with people and just get away and like forget about New York, like forget about what's happening here, just like just go away.
Trust me.
And that's pretty much. I mean, like I love to eat. Yeah, that's why I run. I tell people, everybody. So I run to eat because I have that balance. I enjoy to eat, and and that's my thing. Like I love to go to local little businesses and really. Like give back to the local businesses by supporting them, but also find these little gems. It's like my little hobby.
Yeah. I like that. You can tell me personal or business or both, but what are your goals, dreams and goals?
Man, my goals, man, it's what I'm doing now, just to like elevate it to the next level. Like I wish I could have 100 juice shops, and it's like really doing it in all neighborhoods and all different places around the world, maybe, but more like all over the country, and at least here in New York where I'm from. But also just the running too, to continue doing that in a way that we're inspiring more people, because every day one other person is involved in this run community, we're changing people's lives, because that person is running, but they're inspiring somebody else that maybe never comes to the run movement. Right. And I always tell that to people. I'm like, you going out doing a half marathon or 10K or 5K, you don't understand that there's somebody in your family or someone that's looking at you like, damn, I'm gonna start running. They might not ever come run with bridge runners. They might not even come run with your run crew, whatever, but they might start running, and it's some way it's all connected. Yeah. So I just want to continue for people to start running and starting their own groups in their communities. And I just want to be involved, and especially I want to be involved with younger kids, meaning getting them at a young age and getting big sponsorships with big brands that can invest so that we can really get into the schools and then just start them at a young age so that they could see the importance, because we have that problem in America that
not
we're,
just
you
the
know,
importance. I think the fun and cool side, and see people that are looking like them doing it.
exactly. And I've always said that with big brands. Nike knows this. Everybody knows this. I've worked with in the past. Like, we can bring in a big celebrity that they have sponsored, and we could bring them in. We could do a run and then just surprise them. I'm like, look who runs too, and you know they're like, oh my God, I love this guy. Use your athletes to do something so we can change the youth, because that's the problem. That a lot of people also, like, if you bring them a smoothie, like if I bring them a smoothie from my shop and it tastes delicious, you know, you're just like, oh my God, it tastes good, but it's better than having like a, you know, McDonald's meal or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but like, I could maybe substitute it once or twice a week, but instead of eating every day something bad, at least you have something you substitute, and you're putting good stuff in your body. So all that stuff is important for me.
That's great. Super in line with everything that I'm doing, Outsiders is doing. So I agree. What advice would you give high school you?
High school me? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, like, really, like, just to like, I don't know. I really don't know. My God, it's a really good question, because I've never thought about it. I've always felt that the high school me was just like me being real. Like, I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know. But I feel like I just let it be. And I just think that just to conceive, I would just be like, just be loyal. And I feel like I've always been that. So just be loyal and be like consistent and just
be you.
Just be my, no, I'm serious. I hate to sound like I don't have it all and I don't know it all, but I really just feel like I've just been myself my whole life, and things have panned out.
Right.
Like now, at least they're starting to pan out, you know?
What is your favorite part of Outsiders?
Outsiders, ooh, that you guys travel, son, because I love to travel.
Yeah.
I love to travel, and I love that you guys do things, that you're exploring the world. You're exploring cool things like that. That's why when you started, I was like, I want to be down with that. I was like, yo, can we do this together? And you were like, yeah, let's do it together. And it was just like, then it was just like, that was a one-man show, because I really saw it as we can make a lot of money in this if we do it right. Like, I really saw it that way, because I think it's a great idea, because it's beautiful what you're doing. You're putting people like that I would hang out with to like, let's go travel the world.
Similar concept to Bridge Runners, only we're doing outdoor adventures and travel.
Exactly. And then, but you just did it and you're doing it. Oh, sorry. And you're doing it, and it's I'm so happy that it's going well for you. Now you got different locations. I mean, different spots now. So I love it. I just love everything about it. There's nothing I don't like about it.
I'm trying to be like the Essex Squeeze to the outdoors, you know, multiple locations.
You got it. I know you're going to do it.
Thank you. I appreciate those kind words.
No, for sure.
All right, so I know you said you have these goals, but what's a dream that you've yet to achieve or yet to even start? Like, is there ever a dream, something in your life that you really want to have?
Yes, I feel like what I want is, like, I mean, I want everybody that I have in my circle, everybody that's my family, my friends, to be in a better place. I want everybody to be healthy. I have a lot of people that in my family that aren't as healthy, like, you know, older people. And I just want people I just want to see people like live long and strive. And I think that, you know, if there's anything I can do, I want to do that. I always try to like bring that up. But I just also want people, I want so many things. I want, like, I don't know, but there was like a way to like do world peace and stuff. That's like something I would want.
He had a great speech for his Miss Universe right there.
No, I'm serious. Like, I'm serious. These are the things that I think about all the time, and I'm just like,
that's actually honestly one of the most selfless responses we've had. Some people say they want financial stability. Some people have, say, family. Some people say more business goals. That's
yeah. I mean, like, of course, I want to be very successful in that way, but then money, you know, I was listening to something Will Smith said, like this. Literally, I watched the interview that happened like yesterday, and he was just saying, is like, when you have all this money, you could buy everything, and I don't have that. I'm saying, but like, it doesn't bring you the happiness. So I just really want pure happiness, and like happiness, I mean like mental physical, that everybody around you that is happy too. And then, yeah, if you could just see, imagine like all these wars weren't happening. It was just like really it puts things into perspective in how life is. And I really wish that it wasn't like that, because imagine it was happening to us. Like, imagine these things, people were bombing here, and that's what I put in my mind. I was like, we're lucky that we're not dealing with that. We have a different struggle here with, how the streets are. I know I wish it was better too, but people were literally getting bombs dropped on top of them, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I wish that these things didn't happen.
Yeah. Okay. You're a very empathetic human being. That's amazing. All right, so in the spirit of never stop exploring, like North Face says, and Outsiders does as well, how do you continue to explore and foster a love for the outdoors in your life? I mean, I think if I had to answer that, I'd just say bridge runners.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I swear, that's what I was going to say. Like, I mean, when we run, that's how we explore all the time, because we literally every week we're exploring. Like, when we go out for runs, we don't even know. Sometimes we like, we're going to see a new mural and we don't know where it's at. So we're looking for it. We're just exploring, and we're like getting lost through the neighborhood.
That's what I loved.
We got lost that day.
I know.
We got lost
That's
when
what
you were
I love
there.
about that about the run. Yeah, we turned down this wrong industrial area, which, had you been by yourself, it'd been scary, but you're with, we were like 60 other people, so it was great. The same feeling I get when we're doing like some of our bike rides, especially the new ones where we're going through places we've never been. Exploration. And in our backyard, which I love, and running with you guys was just that. We got to explore on my feet parts of Queens and Brooklyn in between there that I'd never been on foot, right? If I drove past, it was over a bridge, not underneath. So
exactly.
Yeah,
and that's what happens when I go to other countries too, when I run with these run crews, because they're showing me the real, like, Tokyo's, the real London. I'm not running through the Eiffel Tower. I mean, I'm running through the neighborhoods of Paris and stuff like that. So I love that, because I'm exploring like the world that way too, through running. So running really has given me that never stop exploring experience. Yeah,
I like that. And I experienced it with you guys, so it's great.
You gotta come back one day.
I will. I'm not gonna come back. You're gonna tell me it's 3 miles. I'm gonna end up running a marathon. I'm gonna end up killing you. All right, this is my favorite question. What is your most embarrassing moment? I know you got some embarrassing moments you could talk about. I think you might have told me some. I can't remember.
Oh my God, so many.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I think everybody's had embarrassing moments.
Yeah, everyone has. I want you to share an embarrassing one, the most embarrassing one you could think of right now.
Oh my goodness.
I know you're probably drawing a blank, right?
Yeah, I hate that. You should have told me this before, so I would have really had a good story for you.
I'm telling you now.
Damn. Goodness.
I give you 2 examples. The examples I give all the time.
What?
Javier was one example. I think this was in either Connecticut or Atlanta. And he was in high school, and he used to take the public bus to school. Gets on the public bus with snap-away pants. And he gets on the bus, but the door closes. He steps up, pants snap off, and he's in front of a public bus in tighty whities.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
no, that's happened to
me. And then Ken Tanaka.
I used to wear those, by the way.
I've decided Ken Tanaka takes the crown over here, right? Although it's not necessarily embarrassing. So maybe Javier still wins the embarrassing part. But the most, I guess, terrible story, Ken Tanaka, who used to be in the nightlife, now he's a professional fisherman and YouTuber. Although he would hate that I say YouTuber, but you are, buddy. He ran the New York City Marathon with food poisoning. So every mile marker, there's a porta potty or whatever, he had to take a dump.
Oh, my God.
8 hours and 27 shits later.
Wow, he's a man, though. He did it with food poisoning. That's impressive.
True bridge runner.
That's impressive. That's impressive. Yeah. But I don't have anything that crazy. I really don't. I mean, my things are like bad things. Like maybe, I don't know. I really don't know. I've never had something that just like everybody's watching me and embarrassing. Right. I fell in places. I've maybe farted in places by mistake. Like little things that things that probably happen in life. Yeah. And I'm not saying because I don't do that stuff, but it just might like, oh shit, that shit happened. But nothing that was like, wow.
Like let a fart out on a date or something like that?
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know. I don't even think that's it. I'm serious. Like I'm very like.
Thanks for the story, Cedric.
Yeah,
awesome.
Boring. No, I swear, if I had time, I would guarantee I would find like a bunch. It's just that my mind is not telling me
All
right now.
What I'll do is I'll write in the
Sorry.
caption once you find out what it is.
I got you.
All right. So the last segment of this podcast is 5 rapid fire questions. I told you that yesterday, and you wanted to know the 5 questions. I'm not telling them. We're going to tell you that because it's 5 rapid fire. So are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So what's your favorite city other than New York City?
Ooh. You know what? I'm going to say the most fun and just like I feel like because it has the beach and the city together, Barcelona. I love Barcelona.
Really? A lot of people who travel a lot say Barcelona, which was a problem for me because I went there with these expectations of this magical city, which is not that it's not, but my expectations were set this high. I was there for 2 days before I went to Beirut. And I got there like, oh, it's cool. It's a nice city. I didn't spend enough time, but like I really didn't look back and think it was my favorite city.
Yeah.
I have to go back though.
Yeah, I like so many cities. So but it's a great city.
Okay.
It is.
Next question is, if you could do any other profession, what would you do?
I would like to be an actor. I like the thing of just like being able to like become a different person and just, but you know, I just think it's just creative. I like the arts, or maybe a rapper if I was a good rapper.
Really?
Like,
well, you were a singer. You still got the connections.
Nah, really.
Get a feature on your boy's album.
I just like to like do things that people look at me like, wow, I love what you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's cool. But the coolest thing is just maybe be like something that's, gonna do something for the world or whatever.
Right.
And I think that acting really gets people to like really feel like you're giving them pleasure. I really enjoy movies. I'm a big movie buff. So when I watch a movie, I'm like, I really like connected with that art, with that actor, like a Denzel. I'm like, damn. I fuck with Denzel. So I wish people looked at me like that, he's a great actor.
Well, you're getting that connection through running with others, right? They connect you that way.
Yeah.
So you're the cool, suave guy that does a run crew.
I don't know about suave, but
yeah, you're right. What's your vice?
Sneakers, man.
Really?
Everybody knows that. Yeah, I'm a vice
That's
of
right.
sneakers.
You've given me a couple of pairs of sneakers
Oh
too.
yeah, I mean, and that's before this whole Nike thing. Like, if I would not have invested so much money in sneakers, I'd probably have a home.
Yeah.
Instead of renting, because I really
Well,
do.
I also want to ask you. You mentioned obviously they're a partner of yours, but before we started filming, you were talking about North Face and how you've been a big fan. Tell us about like what North Face was like for you when you were as far as like what they meant to you.
Yeah, because the thing is that
the North Face.
Yeah, there was always these brands growing up that were like cool. You know what I'm saying? There was like the Averex jackets, the leathers, and the North Faces and all. And that North Face was the shit, and it still is. I think the North Face is the shit. Like that's why I was happy. Like, oh, that's a great spot. I love that they sponsor you because it's a good look. And I just liked how they look. So I had all the shell jackets. I had the bubble jacket. I had the 700 jacket, which is the shell with the bubble inside, but it was like Gore-Tex. All my jackets are Gore-Tex. I still got them at home, but the thing is, I used to wear big clothes back in the days, in the 90s. So I used to throw.
Well, it's back in style now, so you should wear them big again.
Yeah, I could. And the thing is that but it's like I got all of them in my house, like all of them. So it's
when I think about it, when we were talking to him initially about this podcast, what comes to mind when I think of as a brand, I think the North Face, I think Wu-Tang, I think Timberland, I think that rum. And to me, it's absolutely urban New York meets the outdoors. It's a perfect mix.
Yeah, I still rock Timbs. I still rock Air Force Ones. These are all like New York. And
Nike
North
cap,
And North Face is there. North Face is with them.
What's your greatest fear?
Planes.
What? Really? How do you fly?
I know. Like I'm like, but I think everything. I'm annoying because I'm one of those people that I always, I'm not optimistic. I'm
pessimistic.
Yes, like I'm the type of person that just always thinks that it's gonna happen to me, and I'm just like I hate that. I wish I was just like, because I know the chances of anything happening is not, is so slim. But and when I'm good, like I'm not like a person that like gonna see me nervous, but in my mind I'm just like. And you could tell when it's really bad turbulence. I fly a lot. So when I've gone through really bad turbulence, and I'm like, oh shit, and I get sweaty, and you see me put my hands in the AC like this,
Yeah.
because like that's when you know I'm like nervous. My hands get sweaty, and I put my hands in AC.
Flying, that's so interesting. But
Yeah, but no, I mean, it's a lot. I mean, I guess a lot of things, cancer, like diseases, all that stuff.
so rational fears, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
exactly.
Well, maybe not the flying part, but the diseases. Yeah. All right. Last question. What is your favorite food, and what did you bring for us today?
You know, it's funny. I brought it for myself. I didn't know I was gonna bring it for you. I didn't read the caption. You told me about it.
Someone doesn't
And-
read at all. I highlighted it for you too.
I thought it said just like what I enjoy, and I was like, okay. So
I see.
wait.
Oh, look at
First off, I want to tell everybody, I like everything. I'm a foodie. I told you that earlier. I love pizza. I could tell you all these different places, but the thing that I love the most that makes me feel good is healthy like stuff, like little snacks, and I do this every day. So I was like, and why not promote my business at the same
Right.
time? So I really just brought, I don't know why I brought it in this,
You
but
know-
this is my smoothie. I brought this thinking it was for me, but I'm gonna give it to you.
Thank you.
This is called a gustoso. We did that.
Gostoso, that's
Gostoso.
That's Portuguese.
Yeah, I did that because in Brazil, it's very heavy on acai,
Yeah.
and that's a fruit from out there. And so this one has acai, which is high in antioxidants, has raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, banana, so it gives you also potassium and all that stuff. And then I mixed it in with some almond milk or oat milk, I think I told them. But long story short,
Is it
it's just
unsweetened
and then
oat
I have.
milk?
Yeah, everything. No, I don't add no sugar. None of the things, all
Nice.
natural sugar. And then I threw some chia seeds on top, and I threw some hemp protein inside.
Do you eat something from your shop every day?
Yes, every single day. I
mean, I would. I love this
I
stuff.
throw a wheatgrass shot during the day just to give me that energy, the natural energy, and then I do a juice, and then sometimes I'll go after and then get a smoothie.
And
But
why did you? This is one of your favorite smoothies. What did you have there, and why did you choose that?
I finished working out before coming here, so I wanted just like the antioxidants and electrolytes that these fruits bring. So I normally do an avocado toast before the gym, but today I just did more. Like I did a almond butter. I mean, it's like a French spot that we get our bread from, bakery, and then I threw raspberries and strawberries on this, so I could just have a good toast. That's it.
Right. And what's interesting is I love Dominican food.
Yeah.
Super heavy, not necessarily the healthiest.
Yeah, I love Dominican food.
So this balances it out well, right?
Yeah, because I'm telling you, as I'm saying, like you have to balance life in general, right? I don't know.
good.
Don't be lying. Is it good?
No, I mean, this is good.
No, I really do enjoy it. I like to enjoy.
I mean, I go there whenever I'm near Essex Squeeze. I go there to buy probably an acai smoothie.
Yeah, and the thing is that to me is like I really want people to understand how delicious, healthy food can be. We have some stuff that will be all green or stuff like that. Maybe you won't like that, so I'm not gonna tell you, hey, start with that.
Yeah.
But there's amazing juices that just like very citrusy and good. That's gonna give you high vitamin C's and stuff like that.
Ginger shots.
Yeah,
and so
ginger
on.
shots. Yeah, all that stuff. So, yeah.
All right. Well,
so-
Essex Squeeze. That's your spot. Bridge Runners.
Pop up.
Bridge the gap. On that note, thank you for showing up. Before you dive into that, thank you for showing up. Finally showing up for this interview and this podcast.
It's my pleasure, really.
I appreciate you. And if there's anything you want to promote, shout it out now. You got a new location?
Just the Philly one, yeah. But just
Okay.
come out. You can find all that stuff on the website, EssexSqueeze.com.
Ask for a Cedric discount. They'll make you pay $5 extra.
No, for real. You actually pay more if you say Jeremy. That's what you're gonna say.
Exactly.
No, but really, if you come out, there's love, and they're gonna show you a lot of love. And if I'm there, please say hi. I'm always popping up into the stores, and if you guys ever want to come to Bridge Runners, it's open to everyone. We want everybody.
When do
to
you
get
guys run?
involved. We run on Wednesdays. At 7 p.m. We leave around 7:30, to be honest. But you'll find us on the Instagram. You'll see where the location
Shout out
will
to
be.
Instagram.
Yeah, just Bridge Runners on Instagram.
Well, what's the Bridge Runners Instagram? It's Bridge Runners NYC.
No, just Bridge Runners. It's just Bridge Runners.
Did you change it?
Well, maybe it is Bridge Runners NYC.
I looked it up yesterday. It's Bridge Runners NYC.
It's one of those things that you haven't looked in for so long, and I'm like, I do
know
everything.
all my handles, yeah.
Yeah, so and I know for sure Essex Squeeze is Essex Squeeze, but yeah.
Good job. Anyway, look them up, follow them, and if you want to take a run downtown Manhattan on Wednesday, 7:30, go for it. Just don't expect to be running a short distance or knowing what distance you'll be running.
Exactly.
Stay tuned to the next episode. Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you. Cedric. Thank you,
everybody. Thank you.
Later.
Awesome. Wonderful.